Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. Our mission is to see a world well led. And our strategy to get there? To empower leaders like you to lead every day. So let's get to work.
If I had a conversation with every member of your team and asked them what was the purpose of your team, what would they say? Welcome to the Lead Every Day show. I'm Randy Gravitt.
And I'm Mark Miller.
And we're glad you've joined us for this conversation today on having a common purpose for your team. I think it's one of the things we assume is in place, but if we're not careful, we will make that assumption and not everybody will be clear on that. So this is a good opportunity for us to do some clarity work as leaders. Leaders always create clarity for the people on the team. And one of those places, Mark, is in this idea of having a common purpose together. It's a big target for us.
I don't know how long we need to talk about this, but maybe it's just a reminder. I've encountered so many
I was going to say, from all the people I've talked to, we might need to talk about it more.
It breaks my heart.
It really does.
When men and women are investing time, they're investing their life sitting around tables without clarity on why they exist. And so I think your opening question is a profound one. And if you're the leader of your team, that's where it starts. Why does your team exist? You need to be clear on that. And then, of course, everybody else needs to understand that so you can get about the business of accomplishing whatever that purpose is. We have said over and over, and I will continue to say it to my last breath probably, a problem well defined is half solved. If you can tell these passionate, energetic, fully engaged people around your table why they're there, you'd be shocked and amazed at what your teams can accomplish.
Yeah, what I found is people really do want to be aligned. I mean, they really, nobody gets up in the morning and thinks, let's just all just flounder around. And you ask that question, why do some teams flounder? I think it's because they don't understand why they're a team. And I've heard you say this before, and we've said this before. The purpose of your team is not just to meet. I mean, that's not the purpose of the team. The purpose of the team, we'll get into some shared goals and stuff. We're going to actually talk about that in our next episode. But just as you think about your common purpose, I go back to a question you asked me years ago. What are you trying to accomplish? That's a powerful question that is it's a cousin to purpose anyway, and it's maybe even a little more tactical. But I just think about the people listening. What would happen if everybody had teams around them that were fully aligned on the purpose of the team?
Right.
It's a great place to start.
Yeah. Now, when I talk about this, I know you've talked about it to hundreds of organizations and leaders, thousands, tens of thousands. At this point in the conversation, if I'm sitting down one-on-one with them, they're looking at me like they don't want to ask the next question. I don't know if you've ever had this experience. And depending on how helpful I'm trying to be in the moment, I may just wait and make them ask.
Make them squirm.
Well, no, I mean, because I want to know what's on their heart and mind.
That's right.
I want to serve them. So what is that question I see on your face? And often they'll say, can you give me an example?
Yeah.
Because they understand and have heard me and you and others say great teams have great meetings. Mm-hmm. And they go, but why do we meet? Now, I'm quick to flip that back to them. Why do you meet?
Yeah.
Why do you do it? Now, just not to dodge the question totally, let me give you a couple of examples. I know a leader who established the purpose for their team to grow people and grow the business. Mm-hmm. And the people in that example that he was trying to grow were the men and women around that table.
Yeah.
So we're going to grow each other is in essence what he was saying, and we're going to grow the business. So I think that's cool. That may not be your purpose. That may not be someone else's purpose, but there was real clarity there. Even when he went to work on his meeting agenda, he said that was liberating because he said, I always wondered, should we include personal development topics in our meetings or not? Now, he would quickly say he doesn't do it in every meeting, but now he doesn't feel like he's doing something he shouldn't do when personal development is on their agenda.
Yeah.
But when that's not the topic, he said the rest of the time, we're trying to figure out how to grow the business. And so just that simple phrase gave them huge clarity.
Yeah, it might be helpful for somebody listening to this. Is maybe even a little more tactical, but think about a football team who's trying to advance the ball down the field. I mean, at the end of the day, as you think about your business, as you think about your team, your organization, you're trying to advance the ball down the field. And what do football teams do? They huddle up between each play. They have a meeting. I mean, it's a micro meeting. That's not probably a good example, but they have a little micro meeting and they call a play. They go run the play. They see how they did. They get back in the huddle. They call another play, and they keep trying to advance the ball down the field. And I think sometimes in our business, we make it way too hard. It's just, we're getting together. We're going to meet. We have a purpose. Our purpose is to grow the business.
Move the ball down the field.
Move the ball down the field. That's it. And if we can just keep it that simple, we call a play, we go run the play, we come back, have another meeting. And I think there's this and out of that. And that's one way to think about it. Maybe a tactical way.
And we're going to talk about goals, I think, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we can talk about, okay, specifically, not just grow the business or advance the ball, great, but tomorrow we'll talk about what are the specific goals that you and your team are chasing. Let me give you another example. Again, I'm not advocating these. These are just real life examples. I talked to one leader who said the purpose of our team, now this was a leadership team, is to execute the plan. Mm-hmm. Now, that's a version of move the ball down the field.
Execute the strategy, however you want to say that. Yeah, that's great.
Again, which I think there's merit and value there because it presupposes they've actually created a plan.
A purpose. They have a plan.
They've got a plan.
Yeah.
So we exist to execute the plan. So that gives them an anchor point. They can then talk when they meet about what's the plan say? Are we on plan or off plan? Are we on track? Are we off track? How are we doing? What adjustments do we need to make? And maybe it's an adjustment to the way we're running the play. Maybe we need to change the plan. They hold it loosely, but it provides direction, strategic direction, hopefully. So that'd be just another example of why a team might exist.
Yeah, we'll talk about this as we get really into the organizational space as well at some point. But one of the analogies we use is the idea of a tug of war going on. If we could get everybody on the same side of the rope pulling together, I think alignment, sometimes we struggle with alignment because people don't know really what they're trying to do, what the purpose is. I think this is a place that we have a chance to make a huge impact by giving people some direction here about our purpose. There's a common purpose. It's not just your purpose. Everybody's leaned into that. And so let me give you something to do today before you go. I would encourage you to we've done this everywhere, Mark, but take 3x5 cards, pass them out around your table. I asked the question at the beginning, what would the people say if I ask them? I want you to go ask them. Ask them, what's the purpose of our team? And have them write it down on that card. And then without comparing notes,
don't put their names on them.
Well,
you're going to get them to hand them in?
I was going to get them to hand them in. Or you can do this. Once they write them down, have everybody go around the table and read their card and just listen. And I'm guessing if you've got 8 people, you might, if you've not spent time working on this, you're going to have 8 different answers. It happens every single time. If you really want to be clear on your purpose, you've got to have alignment there. Or if you want to have alignment on it, you've got to be clear with everybody. Make sure you're all leaned into the same purpose. If you can create that, your team is going to be off and running to a great place.
Yeah. Hey, let me just throw in one more. And that great close, but I'm going to throw something in. One more purpose that I've heard that I really like is our team exists to create a high-performance organization. And that's
so good.
That's a North Star.
Yeah.
And then, because we can tell them how to do that.
Keep coming back to it. It's great.
You got to focus on leadership, alignment, engagement, and execution.
Exactly.
So that's just another good one that I've heard from some individual leaders.
Yeah, so I'm guessing some people listening today, you got a little bit of work to do when it comes to your team's purpose. If you don't have one, it all bets are off. I mean, who knows what's going to happen.
Why are you meeting?
But if you can get locked in on why you're meeting, the ball really will start moving down the field, and you might just find yourself in the end zone scoring, which will be really cool for all of us who are listening. All right, remember, the best leaders lead every day.